The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
It's The Local Show, like a runaway freight train in your mind. It's try to catch up with us, right? We champion local businesses, Steve, and it has been one heck of a ride. I do enjoy talking to people I don't know. It's fun, right? You know, to learn about who they are, what they are, and as you and I are driving around town, bombing around town, we're thinking, hey, they would be a good person for the Local Show. They would be a good person.
You know?
And people are calling us because they actually think we know what we're doing.
Yes,
and
they do.
Kind of
They're like, we listen.
Fun thing.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Lots of people, and you and I, we hear it a lot, which is fun.
Yeah,
It's actually fun to know that we're helping the economy churn in letting people hear about people that they wouldn't know otherwise.
Right. And we've always been into that. You know, you and I, since we were young men.
Since we were young men, we're not young men anymore.
Well, you know what they say. If you want to feel young, hang around with old people.
Hang around with Stan Shane.
And that's why I hang around with Stan Shane.
Hey, that's the way to do it.
You're a representative of that, aren't you? Stan Shane is with us right now. He's the owner of Syracuse Dog Fence. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Good. You look good. I don't think that I will ever, I'm 61 years old, I don't think I'll ever have as much testosterone as Stan to be able to grow a beard like that. I want to, but I have a little tuft of hair. You've got a whole Santa Claus thing going.
Yeah, I do.
Does that have to do with testosterone?
Yes, I think it does. I think he's a real man, and I'm half the man I used to be. But, I have Stan's system, okay? Syracuse Dog Fence. For my Beagle and for our Shetland pony. Whatever that dog is, that is Layla, my daughter's dog. And it is the best thing in the whole world. I think the best thing that anyone can do as a pet owner, a dog owner, is have Syracuse Dog Fence.
You don't brag about anything.
It is total
You're
freedom.
The best.
It is the best.
Why?
Well, because at this point, there are many times where I'm like recharging the collar, which doesn't happen often because those collars last a long time,
That's
don't
right.
they? And I will put the collars on the charger, forget about it, and let the dogs out. They don't go beyond the boundary. They are trained totally not to do that. I don't care if there's squirrels and rabbits, and we got it all around the house, Stan. So whatever you did initially to train them, and then the collars on them have been awesome.
Yeah, what do they call it? Collar-wise, when the dog knows the collar, or somehow, or
Yeah, it's a conditioning with the collar.
Conditioning,
and once they're conditioned not to cross the line, they usually don't care if they got a collar on or not. They're just not going to cross it.
Yeah. In case somebody missed the last 17 times you were on here, how'd you get into the dog fence business?
Just by luck.
Okay.
I was looking. I had a dog, and my wife Donna, who's been on the show here before.
Sure.
She said we need to do something besides tying the dog to the porch, the deck, pulling the deck down. So we started looking for a dog fence, and we had one of my competitors out to give us a quote. I decided that, hey, I can take and put it in myself.
Right.
So we looked at this one company, which was Pet Safe at that time, who incidentally bought Invisible Fence, became a Pet Safe dealer, and from there, we turned it into a business.
How many years ago was it?
That was 25 years ago.
So yeah, it's been a long time, and so you know the technology. You've trained literally, could we say 1,000 dogs?
Oh, we're up probably to 3,000 to 4,000 dogs.
Yeah, 3,000 to 4,000 dogs. So for those of you who might be thinking to yourself, well, it's not safe, or it doesn't
work
work,
on
or
my
won't
dog.
work on my dog. That's incorrect.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you,
Erroneous.
we just adopted a new beagle puppy. It's
Whoa,
6
really?
months old.
Oh.
His name is Hooter. He's a wild man. I would have brought him today, but he's a wild man right now.
Yeah, they get a lot of energy.
We started him on the fence on Friday last week, and by Saturday we're dropping the leash. He's going out the dog door with Cash and Addie and Stella.
Those are dogs for our listeners.
Yes.
Those aren't the children that haven't left home. Those are the dogs.
And those are all beagles? Or
Those
most
are
of
all
them?
beagles.
Okay, all beagles, okay.
And Cash is out hunting rabbits. Cash kept up a rabbit, started to chase it. He wouldn't cross the line when the rabbit took off through the right away next to us, and he just stayed in.
I can vouch for that.
Hooter turned around and ran up on the deck.
That's beautiful.
Well, 15 years ago when we got Zoe, that's how we met Stan. We went on a quest. Because we said, okay, we want to get that dog fence thing, and there's different companies that do it, and some brands people know and don't. And so we called a few people, and you're like, how much? Because you don't know what else to ask.
Right. So
you're like, how much? And they were less expensive.
It's extremely economical too.
Than several of the alternatives. They came out, and it was a done deal. And Zoe, same deal with the squirrels, mostly the squirrels. In that yard, there was a lot of squirrels, and she would never leave the yard. I mean. And you're thinking, is it okay? After the first few times, you're kind of looking, thinking, am I okay? After a while, you let them out like you did, Tom.
Yeah.
And they go. But she was on that for years.
Layla is half Border Collie, half German Shepherd. And she loves the birds and she loves the squirrels and rabbits. And she will sprint from the back door straight out toward the shed and just stop. Yeah, just like a cartoon. All the time.
Yeah. Zoe would do that right to the line.
Yeah, right to the line.
So she wouldn't stop. Zoe would just make a big swing of it, like a loop. She'd go, and then just turn around and run the other way because she wasn't leaving it.
So let's talk about some of the new technology that's coming out.
Okay, some of the new technology, we're coming out with a transmitter that connects to the home Wi-Fi. And what that allows it to do, if you get a wire break, instead of it just beeping in the garage, it sends a text to you, or it sends an email.
Oh, that's good to know.
And it sends it to me too. So I know about the wire break just as soon as you do. So instead of just unplugging it and forgetting about it for months until the dog starts escaping, I know, and I call you up and I say, hey, you got a wire break. When would you like us to come over?
What causes, are they random? What causes a wire break? You have it's in the ground one day.
Yeah, a wire break in the ground?
Wire break in the ground. Well, the other day we did one. The guy was planting a tree. Forgot the wire was there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Put a shovel through it. We use a copperhead wire, which is a solid steel wire with copper cladding on it. It's one of the toughest wires going, but every now and then you get it with a shovel, and it just goes
and you
through
can make the space. What I learned is we could make the space where we wanted it.
Yeah,
so it didn't have to be the whole yard or the backyard. And we connected it and had a couple loops. So there was an area in the front yard and I went around an area in the backyard. So it doesn't have to be the whole yard.
The convenience is that we can sit out front with the dogs now, and people can walk their dogs, and our dogs, they might howl, they might, get up and bark.
But they'd be a dog.
Right, they'd be a dog, but they don't run after it, so that's convenient. And then, of course, in the wintertime, folks, you are going to love it. You're going to really love it because you can open up the back door, let them go, and there's no difference in the transmission or how it works in the winter. It's perfect.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to say is right now we can get you in fairly quickly. If you call me this week, we could have it in next week for you.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
So that's the 415 and then a whole bunch of fives. 415-5555-5.
Yeah, make sure you write that down because let's do a challenge here. Let's get at least 50 people to call, okay?
Yeah, and you guys are really easy on the phone.
Yeah.
The 415-5555. So, you're going to say, okay, what can you do? How long will it take? What does it cost?
Yeah.
But we have 2 dogs. We don't have 1 dog, all that kind of.
And you'll give them the special, what do we call it? The local show price, right?
Right.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Double it.
Yeah. No. Steve will pay for it.
Wouldn't that be nice?
One thing I also like to say is we have financing now.
Oh, great.
Oh, there you go.
Where 12 months, same as cash, which means, let's say you buy a $2,400 system, you're going to pay $200 a month.
Yeah.
For 12 months, and it's all paid off.
Oh, nice.
No interest.
So SyracuseDogFence.com. You guys have lots of vets. I think you were over 40 vets. All kinds of vets recommend you in there. So, and again, if you want to quote, 415-5555. Keep your dog safe and in the yard, Stan.
That's right.
That's right. I highly endorse them. Highly, highly.